Hello. Today I'd like to educate you a little bit on what a book panel is. We talk about book panels and a lot of different things, and we just thought it would really be kind of smart to show you exactly what a book panel is, and then to show you maybe some different ways that you can use them. So we actually have our most current one, which is from the collection Papa's Old Truck, and that's what I'm going to show you today. And I'm just going to open it up. I'm going to show you, this is the panel that comes as this little book. I know back when I was young, we called them quiet books because when you would take them to church and you would read them, the little one would read them, it wouldn't make noise. And so you can make these to make noise depending on what batting you put on the inside, or it's my choice to make them so they're quiet. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about how to assemble one of these. The first thing that I want to show you is at the bottom of the panel is actually the instructions on how to assemble one of these little books. They're super simple, but what I want to show you today is just the difference in the batting that you can use and different ways that you can use them. So yeah, that I wanted to show you first. So when you are assembling these, you're going to want to notice too that each one has a book page just right down here, and in the instructions it's going to tell you which set of book pages to put with what other set of book pages. And today what we're going to do is I'm going to just kind of tell you, I'm going to show you how I assemble the cover, and then we're going to show you how we put the whole thing together. But the first thing that I want to show you is what I do to cut these out, and the instructions say to cut it around the outer border. Now, I know that you can rotary cut these, but sometimes the fabric isn't perfectly straight. So I tell you, my favorite thing to do is just, and I want to get that out of there, simply cut it along the outside line.
What scissors are you using?
I am using Kai scissors, and if you've never used Kai scissors, do yourself a favor and get a pair. They're the most amazing scissors ever. They're very lightweight. They never dull. We give a shout out to Kai because they're wonderful scissors. And so what I'm going to do then is I will just continue, and I'm not going to do all of these because we know how to cut, but I simply cut right on that black line. Now that black line is actually 1/4 inch, and so when we take that seam into that black line is actually going to be gone. So we're going to pretend that we've got these all cut, and the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to assemble these based on what numbers say go with what, and that's all stepped out right on this little instruction. It says you would take pages 9-2 and put them right sides together to pages 3-8, and that's exactly how those pages are going to go together. So it's super, super simple. Right now we're doing the cover. So I'm just going to show you how I put this together. Now, keep in mind, I am using fusible batting on this today. I don't want to iron this at all until I get it turned, because if you do, you're going to fuse the batting to it. And actually, there's no reason to have to iron this before you start. And so I just take this edge and I get it pinned together so that my edges are perfectly lined up. I do it this way. You may have a different way that you like better, but this works well for me. We're going to pin it all the way around. Sometimes you got to kind of just tug it or stretch it a little bit. The fabric, you know, when it's printed isn't always just perfect, but we can get it there just by giving it just a little nudge. Then what we're going to do once we get this all together is we are going to put our batting with it. Now, I'm going to show you, I have actually several of these little books put together, and this one that I have put together is with regular batting. Just regular batting, and you can see how nice it looks. Yep, our Ginny put these together for us. They turn out really nice. And today I'm going to show you how we use fusible foam. And so this makes for a simple little book. I actually added a tie to it because I thought that would be really kind of handy. But you can see there's not a lot of difference, but you can see there's a little bit of a difference as far as the finish. And so just wanted to kind of show you that. We sell the foam by the package. I think we actually have a package of it right here. It's Bosal, and it's called In Our Foam. And this is double-sided. We also sell it as the single-sided.
In our form.
In our form. Sorry about that. And it does give it form, and it gives it shape. So that's what's cool about that. They're great for bags as well.
And it's nice and washable too.
It is. It's very washable. I will tell you too that we got these in. We got the foam and the batting in by the bolt, and so we're going to be selling it by the yard as well. So if you want to buy it that way, you sure can. Now I already have my piece cut. I've cut it just a tiny bit larger. No real reason to do that, but I like to give myself just a little bit of give. It will stretch just a bit, and then I just go along and I pin through all three layers of the 2 layers of the book and the layer of the foam. We'll get that all put together. Now, oops, the iron went off. We'll put her back on. On the bottom part of this, well, there we go. On the bottom part, you're going to want to leave an opening. So what I do is I leave probably about a 4 or 5 inch opening. I mean, you don't have to be exact on that, but I would say you want it enough that you can turn it. It's kind of like wrestling an alligator just a little bit when you do turn it, but it gets turned real nicely. And so I'm going to leave this open so that I can turn this once I get it stitched. So why don't you meet me over at my sewing machine, and I'll show you just how easy this is to really make a nice clean edge on it and to get it stitched together. I've got the little book panel put into my machine. I want you to see how nice it's going to be. This is the line that I'm going to use right along that black edge. So I do have a 1/4 inch foot on my machine, but I'm actually and it's just shy of a 1/4 inch, so I can even go in just a little bit more to make sure that I do take in that entire piece of black. And then when I get over here to the corner, I'm just going to show you, I'm going to drop my needle down, I'm going to turn it, and we're going to go around the entire piece until we get back to the end where we're going to leave the opening so we can turn it. So let's get this put together. I like to give it a gentle tug while I'm stitching it. The foam is very stretchable. Give it a back stitch. Now, when you get this finished, I'll trim this excess foam off of here. Like I say, I leave it a little bit larger because I just like to give it a good clean finish when I'm done. You're also going to want to trim your corners, trim it just about right to your stitching line so that you can get a nice corner when you turn it. So yep, you're going to want to clip all 4 corners, and then we're going to head back to the ironing center and we're going to show you how this all gets put together. Now I've got the panels all stitched, I've got them trimmed, I've got my corners trimmed. I left just a little bit right here in my opening, and you know, partially just because when I turn it, sometimes it has a little bit of pull or give, and that way I've got a little bit extra to work with. So we're gonna get this turned, and you're simply gonna open up the panel, and you'll find that this foam is very pliable. It's very easy to work with. I kind of stick my fingers in the corners, and then once I get it completely turned, the magic of the end of your scissors will get you a real nice point. Get that one, and now this one, and then like I said, it's kind of like wrestling an alligator just a little bit. We're gonna get it completely turned. Just kind of pops right out. And then I take my scissors, and be careful. Don't poke too hard because you've trimmed that edge, and you want to make sure that you don't poke your scissors right through. But I just gently give it a nudge in the corners to give it a real nice pointed edge. And you can see that. Just kind of pokes it right out there. Your kids are going to love these little books. There we go, one last little corner. Now what we're gonna do is we are actually going to press this, and you're gonna see how it fuses right to the foam. Now, I have found that I like to press first on the side where you can see your seam. Caitlin, can you see that? This is my seam. I don't know, I just found that it's a little better to press it from this side. You wanna make sure that you don't have any bubbles on the other side when you do it. And I will tell you that even if you get this pressed down and you don't like something about it, you can pull it off and repress it. So that's not a problem. And I'm gonna start, I've got my steam iron, my reliable iron that I use. And I'm just gonna go along, and I am gonna press this down. I kind of go from the center out on everything. Now on this edge though, I'll go from the edge on down and then kind of smooth it out as I go. Now I'm gonna leave this opening. Actually, why don't you check it before you get it too far and make sure that you've got it where you want it. Looks like I've got it a little bit off right there, but we're gonna go ahead and keep pressing it. There we go. And you see how nicely that just presses right down. So nice. Now, when you get this all finished and you have it all pressed where you want it, then what you're gonna do is simply take this and turn it under. Take this piece and turn it under, and you can even adhere this. I don't really want to adhere the bottom piece completely down, but I can do this up here, and I can still pull that out. And then you're going to turn this piece down, and this piece is going to go over the top. You're going to pin that, and then blind stitch it to hide your seam. And so now that I have that done, what I'm gonna do is show you then, once you get the 3 sections together, so, and like I told you, the instructions show which ones to put with which pages. That's all on the panel. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna stack those. So you're gonna start with your cover, and you're gonna see that your cover is just a little bit wider this way. And the reason being is when you close it up, you want that to encompass all of your pages, where if it's the same size, it may shrink and not come over all of them. Now,
so you can see that with...
Yep, you can see that. Now, one step that I really didn't tell you about, that I was going to tell you about, and we'll just kind of go back, but when you're putting this together, if you want to put a tie on it, like a little twill tie or a ribbon tie, put that and pin that into on the back side before you stitch your batting on. And then once you turn it, then that tie will be available. So just think about that it's just kind of a nice way to finish it off. Then you're gonna stack your 3 pages. What I do is kind of line it up to make sure that they're even here, and then you simply stitch down the middle. And it's super easy. Now, this little book is sure to delight any of your grandsons or granddaughters who may like cars or fun animals. The front of this book says Papa's Old Truck, a walk down memory lane to see what Papa's old trucks looked like and the purpose they had. And you're going to notice that every one of these trucks has a pal. So our first page is My Name is Mortimer. I am a market truck. Chester and I take our produce to market every Tuesday and Thursday. My name is Merlin. I am a milk truck. Bessie and Gertie provide dairy products that I deliver to your house. I actually remember that. Wow. My name is Leroy. That's my dad's name. I had to put his name in here. I am a farm truck. George and I take horses and chickens to the sale barn. You guys ever been to a sale barn? It's amazing. My name is Maxwell. That's our youngest, or one of our grandsons. I am a monster truck. Diesel and I race our truck at the local county fair. My name is Frank. I am a fire truck. Spot and I make sure that fires get put out and children stay safe. My name is Ike. That was actually my grandfather. I am an ice cream truck. Pico and I deliver treats to children on hot summer days. Listen for my bell. My name is Stanley. I am a school bus. Henry, Lucky, Buddy, and I drive the children to school every day. My name is Don. That's one of my uncles. I am a dump truck. Otis and I deliver rock and sand to local construction sites. My name is Anders. That is my youngest grandson. I am an ambulance. Harvey, Bob, and I take sick people to the hospital to help them get better. My name is Toby. That's our oldest grandson. I am a tow truck. When your car breaks down, Norman and I tow you to the nearest filling station. When's the last time you called a gas station a filling station? And my name is George. I am a garbage truck. Brutus and I pick up your trash by the curb every week. And so this is just a fun little walk down memory lane telling you the purposes and the pals of these old vintage trucks. Now, some of the other book panels that we have and that we still have available that you can make little books out of. This one is from our collection called Whirligig Magic. And this is just some amazing little colorful dragons. And this one on the outside, it just says, "No one is dragging me down." We like to portray a positive, wow, couldn't get that word out, a positive message in all of our books. And we just think the kids enjoy some of the simplicity of these as well. Stay curious, make a wish, blowing a dandelion, believe in a little magic, let the fire inside burn bright, and it just goes on. And these are assembled exactly the same way. Now this next book called The Great I Am is actually a book that I did several years with Henry Glass. It was one of my first collections. And actually they came to us and said, hey, you want to bring back some of your older books? And they put them on their site as little readers. And that's how they sell them. And so this one is actually, it talks about the birth of Jesus and kind of through the eyes of the animals and the perspective of what the animals may have seen. And just to give you an idea, this one says that, my name is Samuel. I am the sheep who wandered in the fields while many did sleep. And then it gets to the end and it says, my name is Jesus. I am God's son. Small and innocent to the world I did come. Cradled in the stable aside cow, camel, and ram, they welcomed me, Jesus, the great I am. So that's really a sweet little book that we love to get into the hands of you grandmas and moms. When I Am Big is talking about animals and their little ones, what they're called when they're big, what they're called when they're little. And this one happens to be when I am little, I am a kid. When I'm big, I am either a nanny or a billy goat. And then in some of these, then what we talk about is like if there's a group of them, like a group of lions is called a pride. When I hatch from my egg, I am a tadpole. As I am big, I am a pollywog. And when I am young, I am a froglet. When fully grown, I am a frog. So educational, but fun. We love to work with color and design, and yeah, these are great to read to your little ones. And they're washable. Throw them in the washer. The last one is actually another one that we did a while back called Why. And it just says, children have so many questions. They are wonderfully curious. Let this book be a tool for teaching your little ones how much you love them, and for teaching them about the critters God has made and why. And so each page is about different critters. Why are turtles not in a hurry? And it says, God made turtles not in a hurry. They carry their houses on their backs so they don't need to scurry. And we go on, and we've got zebras. This one's really kind of fun. And I, just kind of did some research on these animals. Why do zebras have stripes? And it says, God made zebras not easy to find. They gave them stripes to hide them in the grass because lions are colorblind. Something I surely never knew. So when they're in tall grass, they can't see the black and the white. And we've got iguana changing colors. We've got peacocks, elephants. There's a kangaroo, cute little monkey, a moose, sheep, and the wise old owl. Now, along with these little books, we also like to show you different ways that you can make other projects using the panels, the little squares. These are actually two that I just completed using actually our book, or excuse me, the truck panel. And this one instructs just a little bit different. It instructs you to rough cut or fussy cut a 6.5-inch square. But I've also instructed that what I do is I lay my my straight edge, the 1/4 inch right here, and then cut out so that when I'm stitching it, I'm stitching basically right along this line, and then you don't see any of that dark blue that's in there. And when I construct these, what I do is I put the whole thing together. I piece put the block together, put all the little borders, put the little side piece on, and then I fuse the 3 pieces together. Then what I do is just basically... I use the fusible foam, just like I used with the little book that I showed you. And this one I did a little bit more quilting on. I would have on the books, but it's hard because each side is different unless you did just a stipple, which is great to do too. So you can see that I stitched in the ditch right in the seams here. I even stitched right in here. And then I just went around each little, around the trucks, around the clouds, just to finish it off. Before I put the binding on, I put a piece of wide rickrack on, and then I did the continuous binding. Now to show you the difference too, this binding I sewed onto the back, turned it to the front, and then did a blanket stitch to finish it. Really nice way, and I'll show you the back, just a really nice way to finish that off, and it's super quick and easy. With this one, I sewed it to the front and then turned it to the back and hand stitched it. I was kind of a little bit of a particular person when it came to put on bindings, and for the longest time I would never do one that had it stitched on the front. But I like this because you get a nice clean edge on both sides. You can hand stitch it, but the difference between the one that is machine stitched is it could be just a little bit more durable. So that's kind of, in a nutshell, just a little bit about the continuous binding that's on these. There's so many different things that you can do with these little book panels. This is just a couple of them. Then I want to just show you lastly here, so I don't pull everything out. How am I doing, Kate?
Good.
This is another way that you can use our little book panels, and every group that Caitlin and I design, if it has a book panel or just a regular panel, we design projects that go with each one of those. You can get those either on our website or on the Henry Glass website under free projects. And we show you then, you can download these projects and show you how you can make these into a quilt. The way we do them, you don't even see the little book numbers, so nobody even knows that it was a book. They'll just think it was a little block panel. And it makes an adorable quilt for a child. Behind me, I've got another one that we did with the little When I Am Big book panel. Keep in mind that if you do like one style over another, you can use this pattern and make Papa's old truck. You just have to figure out the fabrics that you want to put in there. So that's just another way that you can use these book panels. So we hope you've enjoyed this tutorial today, just giving you an idea on how to use our book panels. If you have different ways that you've used them and would like to give us a shout out as to how you do that, we would love to hear from you. Otherwise, until next time, happy sewing.